am back with Final Fantasy XII, um, the Zodiac Age, and I am just making this video to basically give people some, I guess, helpful knowledge on how to go about fighting some of the more formidable opponents or hunts or optional fights throughout the game, as well as being an expert player of Final Fantasy XII, harkening back to the original release on PlayStation 2 in, I think, 2009, I think it was. I'm pretty sure. But nonetheless, I'm not here to brag about my skills on Final Fantasy 12. I'm just here to help anybody who has struggled with the, really deep and varied and, I guess you could say, unlimited options and choices and plethora of different systems and decisions. It's a lot, basically, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot to take in Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12 was probably the most in-depth Final Fantasy game that they've ever made, to be honest. The depth in which it goes is really, really far, and that's why I decided to make a video that would talk about how you can, maximize your playability as, a pro in this game. It's definitely took me a long time to eventually juggle it the right way. That's why, again, that's why I'm making this, because I look at the Zodiac Age and I realize, I didn't realize, it was just an eye-opener that, I was kind of upset they didn't do it originally, but the job system and the rebalance of the game itself with the accessories and everything, the way they added all these extra touches and rebalanced the game, really was a big plus, and thus makes this the definitive edition. And the other one, the original one, was good. However, there was some drawbacks that made it feel kind of blah. I still prefer, though, the original PlayStation 4 version, where you were locked into the job choices. It gave you more, solid ground. You had diversity, but not too much. The respecking, unfortunately, it just makes you feel like the jobs are you could just toss them around, but realistically, certain people play better with certain jobs based off of their statistics in general, their primary stats, and in general just their character play style, because believe it or not, characters have animations. Like Balthier, you don't want to have him with guns because he has a ridiculous animation for his reload. Same thing with Fran. Don't use an archer because the reload, again, she has a ridiculous animation because she's in the promos, always been represented as an archer. So of course they would do a ridiculously long, well, longer than your typical for her reload. A lot of times you'll notice that Balthier is really slow with the guns, and with him taking a ridiculously long time to reload, and with Fran, you'll notice that Archer, the bow and arrow, she'll also seem to be kind of not as slow as Balthier with guns, but definitely not really as optimal as you would think. You would think she'd be slinging out arrows, but she takes a fucking long time. Yet when you equip her with guns, it's completely different. It's like basically, in fact, from my experience, she's been shooting out shots with her gun at a rate probably faster than she was shooting out arrows with her bow. And you know, every time I've had her with the bow, I you know, always did my best to maximize her speed, but it still didn't make any difference. She was still like falling behind. Because the only stat that actually matters when wearing a gun, believe it or not, is the speed stat, because it'll actually help increase the ATB on its charge time, since the guns are the slowest weapon. However, they're a unique weapon because they, and don't believe that rubbish about, oh, it's an endgame weapon. It's not. It's actually a nuke spell. It's basically a spell. It's like its own type of magic called shot. And it belongs exclusively to a machinist, aka gun mage. I mean, you could call it ammunition. Ammunition is almost like a spell, because of the fact that, well, there's multiple reasons. First off, I want to talk about that the biggest is, number one, it never misses. You have to realize it has 100% accuracy, so no matter what, this will hit. A gun will always hit, which again places it into the zone of closer related to that of a spell, or I guess you could say a magic, than your typical weapon. I mean, the gun is a weapon, yes, but the ammunition, not so much. The ammunition seems to fall into what would be equivalent to, like the gun being the staff for the black mage, and then the ammunition being the black mage's spells. Like, so you use, say, the, I don't know, let's say the Altair, right? Because that's the first gun you get. You're using an Altair. Or a Spica. The Spica. Or the Sirius. I like the Sirius, actually. Whatever, you got a gun, right? So the gun will then attack, and it does not have any stats that formulate from anything else other than the power of the gun and the power of the spell, or aka the ammunition, the shot in which you're putting inside it. So it'll just take into account the aqua shot and the current gun that you're using, whether it be the Spica, the Altair, or the Alcutris, or even any gun. The Sirius, like I said. A lot of people don't really seem to understand that guns and weapons in general have favorable pairings, I guess. Like you generally, believe it or not, you'd actually go with the opposite of what you would think would be right. But there's only, I guess, one exception for this rule, and that would be Vaughn. Vaughn actually does do incredibly well with daggers, and I wouldn't even think about changing that. I actually have attempted it, and he just does not have good synergy with, especially I've noticed, he doesn't have good synergy with spears. Whereas Fran, on the other hand, does have good synergy with spears. I don't really know why, but she seems to have a fast animation using spears. But with Vaughn, you'll notice it's different. I think, again, the characters have something to do. Characters obviously do have something to do with their animations and the way they, you know, and base stats, of course. But there is a hidden weapon compatibility matchup here, in which case, for Balthier, you'd think that it would be guns, but it's not. And like, this is an example. The best matchup for the archer, for the bow and arrow, best matchup for that weapon is actually Bosch. Bosch has the best matchup for the bow and arrow weapon. He's also good with crossbows. In other words, he utilizes them pretty well. Guns seem to be specifically directed towards Fran. Also spears. Daggers, not really. I wouldn't give daggers to Fran. I also wouldn't give Fran, I haven't tried the katana, but I don't think it might though. But it doesn't seem like an optimal weapon for her because of her base stats being kind of on the low side, and she needs to be able to combo, and females in general just aren't good with the katanas and any kind of that, you know, any kind of melee equipment. Females seem to be more used in the I guess you could say the spell department, which boasts, you know, more than enough damage to hold their own, to keep up with melee. But I noticed Bosch just does he has amazing synergy with, believe it or not, he does have good synergy with axes, amazing synergy with axes and hammers, but unfortunately, you can't you can't, yeah, well, if you're using a 12 job playthrough, you know, you can't get hammers and axes in any other form other than through the foe breaker job. And in most cases, the foe breaker is really used just for a lot of the support that it gives, turning a typical Shikari, aka the hunter, into a more classical berserker, because a hunter and breaker make more of a berserker type of character, which has one of the highest damage outputs, one of the best DPS characters. That being said, I have had Bosch with them, especially, you know, my first couple of playthroughs, and he actually really does excel with them. He's one of the best characters if you're gonna decide to use them. Believe it or not, Fran also is probably even better than Bosch with them, if not maybe one of the best, because of the fact that she's got the highest vitality in the game. Which is another thing, that Fran excels greatly in vitality, but it always seems to go forgotten, and it's a very important stat. I'm just saying, like, you know, she does have naturally, as you grow, the highest vitality in the game. And because it's such an important stat, the two most important stats would be vitality and speed. That being Fran and Balthier. I guess vitality is important because it determines how long status ailments stay effect for, and how long and how resistant you are towards being hit with status ailments, and how long they will last for. All sort of beneficial and negative effects on your character are determined through your character's vitality. With higher vitality means longer duration of positive spells and less likely to and a higher resistance to status ailments and negative status ailments, and a shorter duration if if hit with said negative ailment. So basically the higher the better. For both positive, like I said, lasts longer, and negatives are cut down, basically. That's basically this, to make it simple. Negative status effects are shorter, have a quicker duration, and positive status effects give you longer duration for the higher your vitality, the longer, and the shorter for positive and negative effects duration. But it also, vitality specifically, also affects how often you may possibly get hit with a negative status effect. That and magic resistance, you have to combine these two together. However, with positives, you don't have to apply in vitality. Vitality does not get applied in with positive status effects. Only the negatives. Negatives use vitality and magic resist to ward them out. But since magic resist is something that you can overall alter for the most part with gear, shouldn't worry too much about that. But what do you call it? I was thinking though that if you have a machinist, don't put it on the sidelines. Definitely take advantage of a really good job like this. Machinists are, again, gun mages, and gun mages get access to all the elements, and basically are inflicting non-elemental piercing damage that, like for example, their spells would be considered shots, and they have like seven different shots. Their blind shot is a mud shot, which inflicts blind, may inflict blind on hit, but a guaranteed piercing earth elemental damage, which is a great source of earth damage. The fact that it's got 100% hit rate and it disregards stats completely, including enemy's defense, thus makes it piercing. And with those two things in mind, that it never misses, makes it very similar to that of spells, and the fact that it pierces right through defense, again, makes it therefore even kind of like a little bit above spells. And also another thing that makes it more similar to the contemporary of spells is that it does have a little bit of a charge time, like a spell would have a charge time. When you use a gun, think of it as casting a spell for every time you attack. The penalty, of course, is that you have to charge for every attack that you do, but every attack that you deliver is basically like a proportional spell. So every time you silence shot, you're basically casting unelemental damage, not affected by defense. It's just non-elemental damage that has a chance of inflicting silence. I'm not exactly sure of the percentages. I think it's like 60-something% though. Similar to the actual spell itself, so again, it's pretty good. So I don't want to ramble on. This video is actually not going to be focusing on my entire party composition. If you really want to know, I made a Fullbreaker Shikari, which is well known to be a deadly hunter, a berserker. Monk Bushai is a black belt, a monk black belt, or a black belt monk black belt. I mean, a black belt samurai, or a samurai black belt, whatever you want to say. Either one's fine. The Ulan Machinist is the ideal gun mage for what Ulan brings to the table and for what the Machinist can potentially unlock. They have really good synergy. The Knight Archer is the ultimate combatant. His expertise basically is a paladin that can basically do everything. And it completes the knight, so it's not like a half-assed paladin. It's actually a full paladin. You know, this is probably the skilled paladin. The expert paladin would be the Knight Archer, because a knight should be able to wield bows, you know, and it has better synergy than that of the Time Battle Mage, although that isn't a bad choice either, but the synergy just isn't as good as with the Archer. Seeing as how you'll be doubling up on stuff, and this is a pretty even mix. By the time all said and done, you'll have a full array of all the cure magic that you'll really need, especially the core, you know, the core specifics like Cure second tier, which is Cura, and then Curaga third tier, which is a potent single target cure, and then Isuna, which is another integral key white magic. In other words, he gets all the key white magics. You know, he gets the full spectrum of Cura, Raise, Curaga, the most important white magics, and maintains his status as knight, while also providing service as a good ranged DPS damage dealer. Thus, it's actually a good mix. You should try it out. The Red Battle Mage, Black Mage, and White Mage, Time Battle Mage. Obviously, I went with the Sage and the Wizard for this because it was just, you know, it had the best synergy out of both. I mean, the Red Battle Mage and Black Mage unfortunately doubles up on red, but you do get the access to shields, so that's, you know, fair enough. And as you go on in the game, you'll notice that sort of like, in a way, as you get, I don't know, once you get towards the end of the second act, you'll start noticing, after picking up a couple of espers and unlocking some nodes, you'll have access to some heavy armor. Usually like, what, 7, 8, heavy armor 7 and 8 and 9, I guess. If you look around, you'll see that she does have the potential to eventually start equipping some heavy armor. Albeit probably later, but nonetheless, it's a welcome addition all the same. They also get great swords and other things too. Gotta find it now. Here it is, heavy armor 7, heavy armor 7 and heavy armor 8, with heavy armor 9. And there you have it. So by having heavy armor 7, 8, and 9, it sort of rules out the reason for really, you know, you're getting Steel Mask, the Mirror Mail, which is really good for a mage, Platinum Helm and armor, along with the Giant and Carabiner Mail, which is some of the best, most sturdiest of heavy armor. Combine that with some Mystic, you will find yourself in a fine position. They also have unlockables for many different swords, especially the Black Mage, the Ultima Weapon, And also getting access to 8, 9, and 10, which gives you now access to 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you get 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that's 4 different ones, which brings you all the way up to Dragon. And I'd say that's a pretty good amount to me. Overall, it's a recommended job, because shields in their own right is basically, it's almost like its own armor type. Because it kind of is its own armor type, it's a shield. And as we all know, an Ulan can't equip a shield. A machinist can't really use a shield. So there are, you know, shields are in their own right, their own kind of armor. I mean, they aren't a light armor, you know, mystic armor or heavy armor, but they are shield. They're shield armor, which is very, exclusive. It has exclusivity. So therefore only certain people will get them. In which the red mage happens to bring that to the table. Which is good for a mage to have shields. Which allows your black mage to use shields. And black mages have high. They get all the magic. They get all the black magic lore. So if they get all the magic lores, and maces are, you know, maces are weapons that are based off of the amount of magic your character has to determine its damage. It only makes sense to pair the red mage with the black mage, because then you have an actual useful way to actually utilize those maces for when you need to actually, you know, for example, sometimes you do, you know, sometimes you need a character to be a supporter, not really a caster. But more or less you'll find the shield to be more than a welcome addition to the black mage. Because black mages can be squishy, and it can really help them a lot. Anyway, so let's fast forward a little bit. Basically I'm going to be covering up the quests I'm going to be covering the quests of the beginning of Act 2, which is when the Shiva explodes, and we had just fought Vossler. I've done a few of them already, but now it is time to take on the next of the hunts. I generally tend to do things in order. This is done. This can't be handed until later. And then we just have to do the tingling toast. This is basically the last thing I'm doing before we get moving. It's good to always stay up on, you know, staying on top of things. Staying on top of things helps a lot. Marlboro Overking. What the fuck is this thing? This Marlboro. Putrid breath. That's horrible. Inflict slow, blind, silence, poison, and I think that's it. I think. Anyway, so let's go to the. Actually, it's kind of a fairly new area now when you think about it. A fairly new area that we'll be going to now because of the fact that we never were formally there before. We visited it briefly when you were at the Sansi in the Udutan and the Ogier. But other than that, you may or may not have even visited then. You don't really have to, but if anything, that's probably the only time you visited it, that you've had to visit there. Other than that, you've never actually been in its depths, which we will now start exploring little by little, of course. This is gonna sort of open us up to that now, basically. And I guess there's nowhere better to start than with the Tingling Toast hunt, because then after that we will then go after Adrenaletch, because at this time in the game it's basically go time for the Zodiac Caverns, which we basically only skimmed, if you even did. I mean, some people don't even bother going in, but you can go in, you know, when you're at the Ogier and Sansi. You can go in there, but like not really. Just a little bit, I guess. You could kind of go in and grab, I think, one Technic, I think. Was it Shades of Black? No, not Shades of Black. I think it was buying, what is it called? Something I don't really use very often. That one where you attack when you're blind. I don't really use it. Alright, so Tingling Toast. I'd rather just get it done now because, I mean, let's face it, we're right there. This is right where it is. We have to go and enter the Zodiac Caverns via the Wester Sand. So, Ballsack can wait. We'll give Ballsack his quest when we're, you know, when we're done here. I mean, it doesn't make sense to go all the way back to Rabanastre to go see Ballsack and go down to Lowtown to seek out the Ballsack and appease Mr. Ballsack down in Lowtown. But if you so feel like going down there, if you feel like going downtown to see the Ballsack, go ahead. But I would recommend going to visit the balls after, because the balls can wait. Where is this damn... What's the easiest way? Oh, I hate that. They make you have to go around. I just came out of trial, that's why. And my stats are kind of fucked up, and I was thinking about going to that crystal, but I'll be fine. I hope. Yeah, I should be alright. I'm gonna actually probably turn my gambits off, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Let them fight. Whatever happens, happens. I just want to get to the area we have to get to. It is kind of weird though that the guy's name is Ballsack. I mean, it's Ballsack, but let's face it, Lowtown, Ballsack, hanging on a box, balls hang, I mean Ballsacks hang, Ballsacks, Lowtown, I mean the sewers of the body, Lowtown, I don't know. Is there like some hidden sexual innuendo involving Ballsack? Because I can never get that guy out of my head. This guy just hanging there. He's just chilling on the crates, and his name is Ballsack. I'm like, what the? And I put one and one together, and I'm like, the quest actually says the weather needs to be perfect. The temperature has to be just right. And I'm like, well, I'm a guy. Ballsack's a very, I don't know, temperature picky. And I'm like, did they design this whole guy based off of balls? Like testicles? Because like even the quest itself, the enemy and mark will not come out unless the temperature is to its liking. Just like how, testicles can change due to the weather. So you may not find, I mean, I'm just saying to myself, like, as Lowtown, everybody knows if you're going downtown on a girl, or, I'm gonna go downtown tonight. I think we all know what that means. And we all know what the sewer system of the body is also. I mean, the sewers of the body would definitely be, like, obviously something I'm not going to pronounce or say, but we all know what that is. That being said, I can't help but think that Lowtown and Ballsack, you know, they were, you know, that guy had his mind in the gutter, I guess, and decided to throw in a guy named Ballsack. I mean, that's all I could think of. Why would you have a name called Balzac? I mean, Balzac? I don't know. I don't buy it. Balzac. It looks like Balzac. But, honestly, when you see it for the first time, you're like, is that guy's name Balzac? I mean, ever since I first played it, I've always like, let's go see Balzac. Because that's his name, Balzac. Anyway, so the Tingling Toast quest. Right over here, and then we can go visit and hand in all the hunts, and then we'll be good to go. I just don't want to turn the gambits off because the LP is needed, but I hate this fucking... The menu is annoying. I kind of wish they didn't add this map because it gets in the way, but sometimes I feel like I'm going to use it, but it just actually ends up disorienting me. Because I kind of know my way around the area. I don't really need the map, but sometimes I feel like I'm getting lost, and because they offer the map, I feel like I am going to need to use the map. I feel like, oh, that's a good assistance, but it really isn't. It actually just, it does the opposite. It doesn't assist me at all, it fucks me up. And I get completely circled around. See, it opens it up again. Fucking retarded. Alright, so we're about to fight the hunt of Tingling Toast. This hunt is not too hard. I mean, I've already done the Lost in the Pudding, but this is different. Lost in the Pudding, you could just put it to sleep. Sing it a lullaby, you know, sing a lullaby song to it. Even Orthros, same thing, put it to sleep, making it, you know, a cakewalk. Like taking candy from a baby. So let's see. I do, you know, I'm not going to swear that I know exactly what stats it's immune to or not immune to. So I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Tingling Toast, Marilith. I'll find out on the Wikipedia, just to find out what its status is and its gambits are, because I don't remember. It's been a long time. I mean, who really remembers the gambits of every fucking creature? And you know how many status elements there are on this game? More than any other Final Fantasy game, that's how many. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's got some stuff that it's susceptible to, but you know, don't count on disable or immobilize. Maybe immobilize, you never know. Alright, so level 38, we're looking at 54,921. Whoa, what happened there? Oh, Zodiac Caverns, and it's also a Trial 34. Okay, so, let's see the stats on this thing. Well, this actually doesn't matter. Its speed is decent, it's 20. Vitality is pretty high, it's 74. So, that means you may have a hard time clicking the actual status effects you want to apply on him. Just make sure you have a high magic, magic. Because the higher your vitality, the harder it is going to be to hit them with negative stats. And it also means that the duration doesn't last as long. Alright, so he's open to being hit with blind and silence and disease and slow if you have it. I'm noticing that he can be hit with a few different things, but there's the catch of him having 74 vitality, which means that these things will not last long. You can even be hit with confuse if you have any way of inflicting it, but You really shouldn't at this point in the game, unless you've been doing the trials, but that's sort of cheap. You should wait until you're done with the actual playthrough, because why would you do the trials? I mean, it's okay to do the first 10 trials, I guess, but I don't know. Depending on where you're at in the game, you probably shouldn't be doing the trials yet, because you can get mad good gear that you really shouldn't have otherwise. It's sort of like, I mean, you could use it if you want, but it's a cheap way to do it. I gotta look at this later on, but I'm not gonna do it now. Alright, so, with high vitality, and a decent amount of HP and a mana pool of 500 and something, which doesn't really mean much to us at this point, we need to go and take a look at what it's... Oh, and it has a 100% chance of being spawned under Protect, Shell, and Haste. It has an innate safety, just like most in every hunt does. Additional immunity to instant death, which would include blind sight and all that crap. Fractional damage, which is gravity. Fractional damage, aka proportional damage. That's not surprising. It also has immunity to Fang items. Blind sight, I guess I was talking about sight unseeing. That's the ability. You also can't use Siphon on it, Charm, or Achilles. So it's good to know that. Alright, so its abilities are added elemental damage, fire, and added status effects, slow, and sap. Okay, that sucks. Slow and sap. Well, the AI script calls for Gnaw, Tail Spear, Evasion plus, then normal damage plus, and then 0 charge time for attacks when he gets really low on, you know. So it looks to me like the best way to go here is, from what I'm seeing, Tail Spear, Gnaw. You really want to blind it, obviously. And you can also put slow on it, I think. The Marrow is immune to all elements except fire, which it absorbs, and water, which it takes increased damage from, which is weak too, so might want to make use of those water or aqua motes, which you could utilize Aquera. So even though it has the ignore evasion, we can inflict the blind on it, equip a jade collar. Its attacks will be nigh impossible to even, you know, reach or connect. But Meryl will enter, like I said, in a second phase where she will no longer ignore shields. Meryl generally attacks the character closest, but I'd still recommend a decoy just in case. But as usual, start out with a dispel and you go to work. Alright, so I basically know what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna choose the party right now. One of the greatest additions, I think, honestly, is the loadouts. It was one of the biggest things I was complaining about just recently to my friend. Was like, I used to hate how there was only one Gambit loadout, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'd have to constantly go in and change everything constantly. I mean, now that you have 3 loadouts, it's much more convenient. Never ever having to change my standard loadout when I want to change it for a specific fight. I could change that and then go right back to my old loadout for regular grinding, you know? It's just really useful to have 3 loadouts. This 3 is more than enough. Alright, so I'm gonna use Pinello for this fight. Ash and Who should I use in terms of... Oh, you know what? Yeah, Fran. The gun mage. Because that's basically what Fran is, a gun mage. Let's do it. Her speed's not bad. Thanks to the Black Cow. Ooh, that's nice. But we don't need it. I need to give him I need to give her the Jade Collar, because that's actually really good too. This isn't going to be a problem at all, actually, I realize. Where's the Jade Collar? Someone has equipped, I know it. Yep. Alright. Equipping the Jade Collar. Which, obviously, improves her evasion. Because I'm gonna be making her the primary, I guess. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna have it... I'm gonna make her the primary tank. Makes more sense. But I'll stick with the Aqua Shot. And give her the... Honestly, I want to go with the ghillie boots because ghillie boots just seem to be a much more... It's just better. I mean, it's not like she's using shields anyway, so... Do we have the flame shield yet or not even? We don't have it yet. That sucks. Alright, dragon shield it is. And... Black Cow is definitely good. And the turtle shell choker is also awesome because you don't have to rely on MP. Which... But not only that, it also bumps up speed and magic. Which is important. If I decide to stick long range, honestly, this seems like a good setup to me. The Miter does water damage, and the Aqua Shot does also water damage. That's what I'll do. That's where I'm gonna go. Alright, we're good. Good to go. Now for the Gambit setup. Alright, let's set this up. Da, 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 da. So we can hit it with silence, which is good. And slow, which is also good. So we'll have her casting slow. Let's do, I guess, full highest max HP. And then I guess See, she's just a white mage, so it's not really like you have to rely on her too much for a lot. Decoy. Decoy on Fran, I guess. Could decoy on somebody. Fran. Is probably the most built for it and is the right position to do so. So yeah, Fran. Decoy Fran. And I don't think there's anything else that she really needs to do. Echo herbs, eye drops, antidotes, and of course I'll just throw on in a doesn't she have, oh, the dispel, right, or the dispel opening. We could do full water week. Should work. Alright, good. And ash. That'll work. Have her curing at a high level. We won't need that. And we won't need this.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Let's just get rid of all the stuff we don't need. We'll just use regular attacks. Since you're using a water weapon. She'll be busy doing other things anyway, such as casting for the most part. A lot of casting. Silence. Silence, blind, and slow. Alright, so let's put it on status blind, and then I guess status blind, slow. First status slow, silence, and there you go. That's good. Works for me. And then attack. This is once you have it all debuffed out. And Cura. And nope. Actually, yes, I will do that, but I'm going to change her regeneration over to sap. Just gotta find it. Ally status, petrify, sap. Nothing seems to be too detrimental in this fight anyway, which is good. Alright, and then last but not least, there's a chrono. What is it? Chronos cross? Or some shit. A Chronos tier. Chronos tier. Actually, probably one of the best healing items because it takes care of a number of different types of status ailments. It clears up stop, it clears up slow, it clears up, I'm not sure if it clears up disable or immobilize. However, it should, but I don't think it does. But anyway, you could do ally any, whatever. However, it's gonna be slow, so and that's what I'm gonna have her equipped with. Chronos tier. On an ally slow. And we're good. We are good to go. The old girls team. Larsa. I forgot about Larsa, but he actually makes a good addition to the team. Well, I gotta set him up. Jesus. Oh wait, oh man, it was one of them I was gonna use. I was gonna use that one. Alright. Chronos tier. Ally decoy, ally lore, I guess. And he won't have much to do on a need-to-do basis, so other than hitting it with aqua. Cura. Having regular heals, this thing's not gonna be hard. It's gonna be real easy. Full character MP. Less than 50% is your shades of black. It's too bad that there's no other alternative. Because he can't really do anything else anyway. Well, what's he gonna do? Oh, I guess bubble self. Because that would make sense if he's gonna use balance. That's fine. Alright, good. And then we're all set to go. Everybody's got their gear and then we're all ready to move. Well, when you're ready, let's go on in. It will appear at the lower end here. This gambit setup will work, I'm sure. Slow and sap aren't great, but I've seen worse. I think I have to set up a Libra, though. That's fine. Let's give her a Libra. Self. Because there are traps in here, you can bet your ass. I'm gonna give. Oh, good. She has turtle shell. Turtle shell choker makes it much more convenient casting spells. And a file of Nukai sand. Oh, these fucking things. Okay. Wonderful. Shades of Black will always work wonders. See, I have my other gambit set up right now. But it's no biggie because they'll go down soon enough. Ooh, yay, a firefly, I got one. Those are really useful. I might want to equip this until we get there. Discuss. Just until we get there. I'm gonna go to Remembrance. It's easier that way. Alright, so it should be down here. Like right around here. It is usually. Usually pops out around over here. Gotta take a look, see. I'm pretty sure though, it's. We're in the area. Let's see, let's see. A little further down. But this is the spot though. It's at the end of this area here. The Zodiac Caverns, which we barely even explored, but there's some good stuff here, so. The fuck? What is this guy doing? What the hell is this? I have no idea what that is. Clothes. Putrid green liquid. We gotta work our way down here, so. I'm just gonna go and probably go ahead and go to my normal gambit setup until we get to the fight. I have to have that gambit set up. Now that we finally have fire, it makes sense to set it in. Before we didn't, so... Fire, Full fire weak. Which frogs generally are. That's good. I should have set full fire vulnerable though, honestly. There it is. Wow, and I just changed the fucking setting too. Wow, oh my god. The worst luck. With my luck. Okay, attack it. Now that we got blind on it. See, fire will heal it. But we have a lot of ways to inflict water damage, so we shouldn't have much problems. Why is Frank casting that? What is she doing? She shouldn't be using that. Why is she using Shades of Black? I don't have that set. It should be set to attack. Oh, because... Whatever, just set it to attack. Fucking retarded. We just worked on her before, what the fuck happened? Did we not just work on her? Pretty sure we did. Anyway, whatever. We're here. She can attack from a distance. If only really for the water damage that we can dish out. I feel like Ash should be doing something else and she's not doing it. The fuck is wrong with these people? Full character status, blind, slow. Why isn't she casting slow? Is there like something wrong with them? Are they not? They're not like... It's only blind. What are you doing? Alright, something's wrong here. Why is she not doing her job? I don't understand. Nobody's doing their jobs, actually. She's just sitting there like a dipshit. Fucking retarded. Alright, I'll do it myself then. Why are they doing their gambits? They're having a hard time following gambit orders? Foe status blind. There's a foe right in front of you, bro. What the fuck is she doing? I don't understand this. Hold on. I hate that. Foe character status blind. Like if I'm ever gonna use that attack anyway, that attack sucks. Jesus. I hate that they keep them right next to each other too, because they look so similar. That happens to me a lot too. Foe status blind. They should keep everything in like one area. Like they keep things that are too similar in the same areas. I don't know why they do that. Like what are they doing? This may take some time. Oh, no. We're good. So like, why is Fran just sitting there, bro? Like, what is she doing, man? She's supposed to attack. Attack! Like, you know this and you're not doing anything. Fucking when was that set? I never set that. This was the one that I had set for you. Like, what are you doing, man? Let's use pedal to activate the quickening chain when I can. This isn't too tough, though, honestly. It'll always attack Ash, because that's what it tends to do. And I'll probably finish this out with a quickening. Right now. Intercession, and then we'll take it from there. You might be able to skip this phase altogether if we're lucky enough. With mischarges, I guess. I actually liked the quickening missed neck system. It's pretty cool. I didn't like it originally because it was connected directly to MP usage, which kind of sucked. But when they revamped it, I actually found it kind of unique and, you know, interesting. And skill too, as well. Like, it's not just about filling a gauge. It's not like there's more to it than that. You have to chain your character's specials together to make an occurrence.
I must endure.
Like, mischarge came up, but I ran out of time. Should be a torrent, though, right? Yep. Torrent. And torrent is good. Not that it really does any elemental weakness, but it doesn't really do elemental damage. It's just kind of ironic. Wonderful, Marilith has been vanquished. You know, I just noticed something. We fought a wind dragon outside, right? We fought the Marilith in here. And we fought a kraken looking thing, which was like, I guess you could call it that fucking sherbet looking motherfucker. They kind of like remind me of the Four Fiends from Final Fantasy I. Marilith, the Tiamat, and but we didn't really fight a Lich though, so I guess that's different. And we will be coming back here again, not too far from now, but not just yet either. Ghillie boots. Put Ash in and bring let me see. I guess bring Vaughn out. That's actually not a bad idea. these cuffs. Okay, we are good to go. Just give her... I'll use it. Might as well have an extra slot. See how it works. I don't really know if that's numerology or horology. I don't fucking know. If it's the one that does it with successive hits, then I don't like it. But if it's the one that's based off of the game clock that determines damage, then that one's not that bad. Vial of green liquid. Okay. Gotta change one thing. We really don't need that on though. Let's go with the steel poles. It gives her an even 35-35. I like that. I'm gonna turn off the stupid fucking map. I keep opening it. I shouldn't open it because it's not a good idea. It gets me lost. Alright, cool. Up this way. Into the western sand. And the storms are brewing. Well, she should be poaching then. I mean, I know Evilly so well that I really shouldn't be looking at that map. I should know where I'm going, honestly. It's not like we're in the Great Crystal. Like, I obviously know that Rabanastre would be northeast from where we are, but an easier way to get there would just be use the teleport stone, which is what I'm gonna do. our long-range weapons, so we're good to go. Very good. Why do I always do that? Orons. Knockback. Crossbows. A crossbow. They are nice. Critical. I know where I am, and I know where I have to go. Gotta go around. I hate this little alcove though, because it always ducks down, and it always gets me confused with the actual way that you're supposed to go. Which is actually up one, and then you get there. It's up here and then around. See, I think that horology is not as bad as numerology. Numerology is annoying. I mean, it would take a long time before it actually really does any real damage. To get potential damage from it, you'd have to do it over and over and over again. What kind of entity? What kind of entity is this? Well, I gotta try. Yes, I got a face down. That's all I needed. What the fuck is going on here? No, we're all sleeping now. Great. Everyone's gonna die now. I just wanted to get that face down. Now that we got it, we're good. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Don't get me nervous. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We just wanted to get the face down. That's it. I was surprised I even got one. That was lucky. Not so lucky that I got blasted with a mad powerful form of Lazanga, but nonetheless, whatever, fuck it. Right now I'm panicking. We have to get over there. Fuck that, I don't give a shit. Just when I get over here. That was kinda scary. I've never seen it hit that hard before. Mad powerful. Wait, does Shades of Black get sent back towards us? Because it's not a magic, really. I think it does. I think laws are fucked up. I had a bad feeling when I saw that, though. The reflect. Should have dispelled it. I know, I should have known better. Alright, well, live and learn, right? Yeah, I'm gonna set something up. I'm gonna actually set it up anyway because it's good to have. Because we're not really doing a boss, so there's no need for this, but reflect dispelling is important. That's a real important one. Very good. Very good. We just poached this fruit. Poaching some fruit. You would think we'd have Echo Orb set, but we don't. That's really weird. Anyway. I think we're here now, finally. Which is good, because I can get the fuck out of here. Inventory. Let's sort the loot out. We have to sell quite a few different things here. But overall, we're looking in good shape. Let's sell them over to Lowen. An extra bronze mace. An extra assassin's dagger. If you ever see a duplicate, you might as well sell it. At least with weapons, but... Laser gloves. Onion bolts and onion arrows. And then poison bombs. Alright, I'll sell these stones here. Earth, wind, water. Earth, wind, water, and fire. Interesting. Those are the 4 elements of the actual real world. Then storm ruins it. Because that's not a real thing. That's not one of the elements. Earth, magnesite. Wind, magnesite. Water, magnesite. Earth, wind, water. Storm. Imagine if they had a storm, like a storm element, like I'm a lightning sign. I am a lightning sign, I'm a water sign. He's a fire sign. But who knows, maybe there will be one day a lightning sign. A lightning sign. Interesting. I'm a dark sign. I'm a dark sign, huh? I'm a fire sign. I'm a lightning zodiac sign. Imagine having a lightning zodiac sign. Maybe the Serpentarius is a lightning zodiac sign. Fire Magnesite. Storm Magnesite. Dark Magnesite. There we go. Those are the real diggity diggity dams. The crystals. Those are the best. It starts out with stones. Then, I think it's Magnesite. Eventually you'll get to crystals though. Earth crystals. I think there's one more in between that too. But the crystals are the, you know, the big ones. Earth crystal. See? Dark crystal, the source of Leomon entity's energy. Surprised I have an earth crystal and a dark crystal. Few dark crystals. Gemini gem. Moltings. An iron carapace. Quality hides. Wolf pelt. Always common. Small feather, large feather. More large feathers. Shit ton of large feathers. And chocobo feathers. Horn, 2 horns, and a pointed horn, which are better than regular horns. Succulent fruit, good for making cash. Marlboro fruit, actually useful. Marlboro flower, even more useful. Green liquid, very useful. Face stone, super useful. Like, really, really useful. Down the line, anyway. Adestra remain, I'm not really sure. Putrid liquid, useful. Caramel, very useful. Unpurified ether and the Horkte's flame. Horakite's flame, all that shit. We just need the Orthos glaze or something? Orthos gaze. And then we'll be able to get the magic urn. Horakite's flame. New goods. Ooh, please say. Yes, a Francesca. That's actually not bad. I'm not always too sure about these. Eye openers is a waste of money. Let's see, I have enough money to spare. Let's see if I get ripped off. 1,500. Antidote 12. Eye drop 12. Echo herbs 12. Alright, so we'll multiply all those by 12. Because this eye openers is a ripoff. By 30 gil. So that's 50 times 12. I paid 1,500. So I guess it would be 150 times 12 then to make it easy. We saved 300 gil. That's not bad. Oh sweet, he's got new weapons. When did he get those? A killer bow. And a warhammer. I just like to have every weapon available, that's all. I'm a collector. Big time collector. We have to stock up on Chronos tiers. And high potions when we can get the chance. And we were good to go. And now we head back to Rabanastre to hand in the final hunt. Over to Rabanastre then, shall we? We're off to Rabanastre. 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 When I was younger, I used to think it was called Rabanastre. 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 Alright, so Ballsack is in here. You'll see him coming up shortly. Mr. Ballsack, that is. Let's go visit Ballsack. Ballsack, all to the wind. Ballsack, Mr. Ballsack. Up this way. And taking a turn over this way. Another turn this way. And over the loop this way and this way. And maybe not that way, but this way for sure. And then turn it this way, maybe? Nope. I think it is this way, but I think it's further down this way. There he is. Ballsack. Hey, Ballsack. Yeah, Ballsack, I did it. A moon ring and an ice brand. Very good. Ballsack. Good old Ballsack. Ballsack, whatever. Ballsack with a Z. Now, I guess we could go up now. High potions? Probably not, right? You're probably got nothing. Nothing. Better help you out though. Well, that's good to hear. Kites is doing good. Lowtown. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's Lowtown, man. Lowtown's the shit. The seedy lands of Lowtown. I love Lowtown, bro. Like, it's like a real shit. It's like a real shithole, you know? Like, is it inside or outside? Like, it kind of looks like it's supposed to be outside, but it's not. It's like a cellar, but it's decored like an outside area, though, you know what I mean? Weird. It's like an inside-outside, an outside-inside. It's outside-inside. Because they obviously have apartments, but it's all inside. See, it's inside the cellars. It's weird, like, I live inside the inside of an inside. Now this is outside. But technically Lowtown does have openings, so you can see the shaft. But anyway, We have to go now over to the Sand Sea. It's not too hard. Let's swing down this way and we're there. And then onward to Biomises. That's where our paths are taking us, anyway. Wait. That's the Empire's flag, ain't it? I love Rabanastre. It's just so beautiful. It's one of my favorite cities. It really is. Rabanastre's fucking awesome, bro. Look how cool it is. Rabanastre just looks dope. I think the Final Fantasy XII in general has had one of the coolest worlds ever introduced into Final Fantasy. All the areas are really varied. Especially the cities and stuff, like really cool. Awesome. What do we get? Okay, a serpent eye. And 3 teleport stones. See, everything is now finally done. Until next we meet, my friend. Nice. So now we are now free of burden, to now go forth to Mount Biomises and meet up with the eluded enemy and ally, the flamboyant ally Cid, I guess. But before we do that, let's talk to the let's talk to the Banga that doesn't look anything like a Banga. He looks like a Namu and a Banga had a baby. Honestly.
Panello. You're alright. You have the slightest idea how I've been worried. I've been worried sick.
I can't do his voice.
Why, have your mother's memory to consider. What? Don't tell me you're off running about with those sky pirates too, for all I understand. But you, Panello. Well, I suppose it's not all bad. The two of you are finally growing up, making decisions for yourselves, Do as you feel you must. Whatever trouble you might get yourselves into will only make you stronger, I'm sure. Yes. When you want to come back, you've only gotta... No. You go about your adventures until you decide for yourself it's time. And until then, don't worry yourselves about the shop or any of your friends. Just leave all that to Miguelo, you hear? Now that that's decided...
He's got a weird voice. It's like kind of nasally.
I have a map. Now that that's decided, we should get down to business. I'll be traveling, you'll need a sundries, yes?
I can't do it. I bet you probably is a real old man in real life that did the voice, because it sounds like an old man.
I best be hurrying. Oh, I couldn't, that would not be right.
Sound like a guy who smoked cigars for many years.
I had best be hurrying.
You are overly fond of formalities. I have just the remedy for that. We shall drink until you call me by name.
Oh, I couldn't.
Like I could do Vane. The people of Rabanastre. Is it with hatred you look upon your empire? With hatred you look upon the council? Fuck you! Go back to Arcadia! There was little point in asking. But know this. I harbor... I think, what did he say? I harbor... I forgot. I harbor no blah blah blah. That is the due of your fallen king, and rightly so. There was little point in asking. But know this. I harbor something. I harbor... What did he say? I will suffer your slings and arrows. I will defend Damaska. Here I will pay my debt. I swear it now. Though King Ramanas and Lady Ash be gone, they live forever at the side of their people. In honoring memory, you do honor to Dalmasca. The people of Abanasta. Is it with hatred you look upon your empire? With hatred you look upon the council? I harbor no something to then he says, I harbor no feelings of frustrating that hatred. Basically. Is it with hatred you look upon the Empire? Oh, back to the Empire! Oh, back to Arcades! Oh. There was little point in asking. I harbor no means of frustrating that hatred. Though, Lady Ash, I can do Vayne and I can do Balthier. It's Balthier. Listen, thief. Vaughn. We're working together now. You, me, and Fran will be working as a team. Let's think of our friend as a guest, then, shall we? Unlike myself, Fran and myself. I don't think our guest will be taking orders anytime soon. We need to get started on your manners before you can get started on your thievery. What does that mean? I think I'm out to steal the stone or some such. You're too good for that, princess. Worried I'm out to steal the nether side, huh? Can't say I'm not used to people doubting my intentions. Well, I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same. You're a welcome aid. You're a great hand and a welcome aid, but why? Worried I'm out to steal the nether side or something? Some such? Not surprised, you doubting my intentions. No, some such. I think there's like something like that. Worried I'm out to steal. You're a great... Did he say the same thing twice? You're a great help and a great aid. Isn't that like the same thing? What of you, Balthier? Worried I'm out to steal the nether side or some such? Can't say I apologize, but I needed to know where you stand. Her Majesty depends on you. Well, I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same. And you seem to have an interest for the stone. I think he said... yeah, that's what he said, right? I apologize. My apologies. But Her Majesty depends on you. And you seem to have an interest in the stone. Well, I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same. I say, what? What about you, Vaughn? What is it that you want? Me? Meme. I'm just a meme. A meme who doesn't need to be here. A meme. I'm a meme. Because it's exactly, Vaughn is the meme. Fucking meme. That's what he should have said. Me? Meme? Meme. We already know that you're a meme. You fucking meme. Because we all know that Balthier and Ash are the two leading, they're the two main characters, realistically. Supporting cast would obviously be, Bosch and Fram. Larsa and Redis. That's realistically the true 7-man party, not fucking Vaughn and Pinello. They just didn't want to go back to the shithole they came from, and who can blame them? I must be hurrying to go back to this fucking douche. Yeah, right. They'd rather go and ride on the straw and, you know, get out of that dump. If I were him, I would do it. Why not? But Ash does always tell him to shut the fuck up. Pretty much almost all the time. Always. Constantly. Don't interrupt me. I'm trying to concentrate. I think she says don't interrupt me a couple of times, actually. It's like, what, like at least 3 to 5 times within the story. She says things, don't interrupt me, I'm trying to concentrate. Basically, like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Stop talking. I don't know how many scenes it is. I know it's definitely 3. I like the one when she was like, she definitely says, don't interrupt me. And then she also does say, yeah, it was don't interrupt me twice. And then she said, I'm trying to concentrate. She says a lot of, that's another indication that, you know, Vaughn is not really the main character. Not by a long shot. He's always getting shut the fuck up by Ash. Ash doesn't rely on Vaughn, Ash relies on Balthier. How many times does Ash tell Vaughn to shut up? Final Fantasy XII, how many times does Ash tell Vaughn to shut the fuck up? Final Fantasy XII, how many times in the story does Ashelia, Benarg, and Dalmasca tell Von Ratsbane to stop talking? Yeah, see, a running gag throughout Final Fantasy XII is Ash telling others not to interrupt her while she is talking. Oh yeah, she doesn't like to be interrupted. She's a bitch, bro. But honestly, gotta say, I like her more than I do Vaughn. She's a spoiled little cunt. A 19-year-old princess. The only child of King Romanus. A spoiled little bitch. Ashelia, Benarg, and Dalmasca. Known as her alias, Amalia, is a playable character in 12 and Final Fantasy. Well, why isn't she the main character then? He's not, but how is he the designated protagonist? Ash is obviously the leading lady. So then what the fuck is Vaughn there for? I know she has like a bright pink miniskirt. If I had to choose though, I like Vane, not Ash. But Ash is fiercely independent and driven and will stop at nothing to restore her family to its rightful place. She is proud, indignant, and determined. And loyal, her facade can be broken by memories of Lord Rassler. Reminding her of the joyful and easier times of her youth, Ash's true strength is the ability to turn down great power even while being faced with the same power backing her adversary, realizing it would corrupt the ideals she has lived her entire life by. How dare you say that? The Empire attacked us, stole all we hold dear, and you would have me save them from more? Damasco would be the battlefield. You know my brother would do this. Look at that. A young Ash with a pet chocobo. Ash was raised as the Princess of Dalmasca, the 9th, last and only daughter of Dalmascan royal family. Her 8 older brothers had died of illness from the plague, I assume, that just mysteriously went and disappeared. I don't know whatever happened to the plague, but it was mentioned once and never mentioned again. And how they found a cure or where it went, I have no idea. Did they find a cure? In the year 704, old Valendia King Ramanas and the king of neighboring arranged a political marriage between their children. Both Ash and Lord Rossler understood that the marriage was to cement an alliance between Dalmasca and Dambradia against the conquering Arcadian Empire. Ash was nervous to see Rossler again as the two had met since early childhood. Hadn't met, you mean? Upon their first meeting for years, Rossler surprised everyone by claiming he cannot marry Ash. This must have been in the manga. Into a Neo-Rosaria faction meeting in a royal palace. Argus. Ash was married at the age of 17 to Lord Rossler of Nebradia. Despite the political nature of it, the two genuinely cared for one another. Ash was widowed when Rossler was killed at the Battle of Nalbana Fortress, devastated the princess and fueling her hatred toward the Arcadian Empire. Not long after Arcadia made a full-scale assault on Dalmasca, I don't know. King Ramanas intended to surrender to save his people, but was killed by Judge Gabranth posing as his twin, Bosch von Ronsenberg, after signing a peace agreement with Arcadia. Ash disappeared, and Bujurba's ruler, Halim Andor IV, announced her suicide. Now unable to seek Andor's aid, Ash retreated underground and assumed the name Amalia. and then joins the resistance to reclaim Damascus' independence and recruited many foreign members of the Damascus army. The resistance moved slowly, not winning any major victories or causing enough unrest to be notable until Vane Salvador travels to Damascus to assume his position as consul in the year 706. The resistance plans to attack the royal palace, and Rabanastre, unaware of the opportunity, is a trap. A street thief, Bond, and two sky pirates, Balthier and Fran, infiltrate the palace to loot its treasure, and when the Arcadian forces break up the resistance attack, Ash is separated from her companions and forced to retreat through the sewers. Vassal sees they have walked into a trap and calls for a retreat, but Ash is unwilling to admit defeat. Vassal has Ash taken to safety by the sewers, but resistant members he sends her with an Imperial informant aware of her identity and turns against her. But they're actually informants who turn against her. Ash fights them off, but is trapped on a ledge. Bond spots her and calls for her to jump down, catching her. Ash and the thieves make a temporary alliance, but are captured by Arcadian soldiers, and Judge Geese takes her into custody onto the dreadnought Leviathan. Discovering she is indeed Damascus' princess, Vaughn and his new companion Bosch, Fran, and Balthier eventually join her in captivity aboard the Leviathan. Slaps Bosch, outraged the man believed to have killed her father since he's still alive. Geese plans to execute Ash as an imposter, since without the heirlooms dynast king's heirlooms, why would you say that twice? She has no means to prove of her lineage. When Vaughn reveals he holds the dusk shard he had looted from the palace, from the palace treasury earlier, a piece of the artifact and episode the dynast king once wielded, reacts to Ash's presence. Geese claims it, again removing the means for Ash to prove her identity. Larsa Ferdinand Celador, who extends an offering of allegiance to the princess despite being a member of Arcadian. Wow. Ash vows to avenge Rassler's unjust death. No one else can see the figure except for Vaughn, who thinks it resembled his late brother Rex. I don't really know how he wouldn't know what his brother looked like. Ash vows to avenge Rassler's unjust death. As the party exits the tomb, they are ambushed by the Arcadian Empire and imprisoned on the Leviathan. Vassler is working with the Empire to restore peace to Dalmasca, and the party is transferred to the Shiva light cruiser, where Geese tests the newly retrieved Dawn Shard by placing it in the ship's engine. Vassler refuses to let them leave, forcing Ash to fight her old ally. He is wounded in the melee and asks Bosch to protect Ash in his stead, explaining everything he did for Dalmasca. Ash and the party flee from Shiva before it explodes, leaving Vassal behind. The Dawn Shard's mist explosion destroys the entire fleet, but the party spots it hovering and turns back to recover it. I think that would have been cooler though, honestly, to have Bosch versus Vossler. Just a one-on-one. Should have been that way. That's what we are up to now, actually. We just came from the Jahara, and we are now on the journey to meet with El Cid Malgrace of Rosaria at Mount Buromises. Which will bring us closer to the end of Act 2, but this is the beginning of Act 2. I didn't really play, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Just happened. What? The fuck is this? Filthanos. Lemures. And the Suncrest. How good was Revenant Wings, and why didn't they ever remake it then? The Globados. Galbana. Who the fuck is Filthanos? I didn't really play 12 Revenant Wings that much. Oh, he's the main antagonist of Revenant Wings? Of the Agile. The Aura site. The Agile. Is that who I think it is? Felthanos? Is that the guy? Is that supposed to be Yujora? Why don't they just call him Yujora then? Because it seems like it is when it's people. It looks like it. He looks like Marilyn or some shit. Thanatos is a personification of death. Judge of Wings, the fuck is that? I want to search about Ijora. I think it's Saint Ajora. Ajora. Saint Ajora. Fuck. Damn it. Shit, no. Here it is. Ajora. Glabados. Glabados. Saint Ajora Glabados. What is he, a woman? See, Ajora was born at a time when airships flew across the skies. It was recorded that the day he was born, Ajora walked up on 2 feet and went to a well, pointing out that it was poisoned. True to this, during the Black Death, many who drank from the well died, surviving called this, and thus Black Death, obviously, that must be referring to a plague, but they just got over a plague. Galvano, Lily? Little Galvano, Lily? Gustava. Alright, Gustava, let's go. Alright, so we're off. Off to... Where are we off to again? I forgot. Oh, let me quit that Francisco. That thing's awesome. Axes are fucking dope. Wait. Wait, it's not here. Oh, you know what? Huh? Where'd it go? I better put some order. Oh, you gotta get order. Oh, Francisco, we gotta learn it. Licenses. Licenses. We have enough.